Hi everyone, welcome wherever you are across this great state. My name's Leanne O'Shea and I'm from Leaders Being Leaders. I want to remind you from our previous broadcast that leadership is all about being the best that you can be in each moment. And today we're going to be discussing teamwork. So if you do have any questions, remember to dial in. I'd love to connect with you all, so don't be shy. Any questions that you have throughout this presentation, ring the number on the screen, which is 1800 678 208. So let's look at teamwork. What is a team? Well, a team is a group of people that come together to achieve a goal. So teams can be temporary or indefinite. With individuals sharing responsibilities, the group as a whole takes advantage of all of the collective talents of everyone within the team and the experience of each team member also. So team building is organised effort to improve team effectiveness. So are you writing in your notes what you think a team is? And what types of teams do we have in our community? Let's discuss that. Write them down in your notes. We have sporting teams. What other teams do we have in our community? We have Rotary, mums groups, support groups, and also business groups like your Chamber of Commerce. The school environment also takes a team of people to create a common goal. Your family is team. You need to come together to create all that you want within your family environment. So every day you are working within a team, and it's important to know how you can play a part in that team to get the best results. So most of us, teamwork is really a part of our everyday life, whether in our community, in the workplace, or at home. So on your list there, let's write down some what team success really does depend on. What are you going to add to the list? Is it a shared vision? Is it how well team members operate together? Enthusiasm? Problem-solving skills? What else are you adding to the team success? Communication skills? Understanding the value of working in a team? The level of willingness to participate, be involved and wanting to grow within the team. Continue to add to that list. But let's move on and let's talk about teamwork within the Community Resource Network. Well, this presentation on teamwork really does follow on from what we were talking about in our last presentation, which was networking. And why? That's because teamwork is networking within the team. So a strong network within the team will help everyone to build the strengths for the entire network. So each centre is unique to its staff members, its location and the management style. Each centre can learn from other centres to make the whole network stronger. So working as individual teams equals success for the whole network. So now let's look at the different types of teams. You've got the traditional teams, self-directed teams and the E-teams. So a traditional team has several characteristics common to the traditional teams, and that is a team gains a shared understanding and purpose among team members as distinguished from the group. Also, the characteristics of a traditional team requires mutually agreed upon operating principles such as agendas, procedures and decision-making processes. A team is interdependent. Everyone works for the good of a team and not for oneself. The traditional team is an effective team distinguishes tasks from processes. And how they do things is the process is just as important, if not more important, than how they do it, the task. Now let's look at self-directed teams. A self-directed team is a team that is responsible for the whole product or process. The team plans the work and performs it, managing many of the tasks supervision or management might have done in the past. A facilitator selected by the team or management helps the group get started and stay on track. The facilitator's role decreases as the team increases its ability to work together effectively. Now let's look at the last one, which is an E-team. And the benefits of an E-team approach are, and I'm sure you can all imagine in the great world of web today, is that workers can be located anywhere in the world. Virtual environments can give shy participants a new voice, and members have less commuting and travel time, so they tend to be more productive. Also with an E-team, companies gain an increasingly horizontal organisational structure characterised by structurally and geographically distributed human resources. E-teams demand a high trust culture. So we've looked at the different types of teams, and they were the traditional team, the self-directed team and the E-team. Now let's move on to the 10 C's of team building. Now you can see them on the screen there, but let me explain them to you one by one. So the first one in the 10 C's of team building is a clear expectation. Clear communication on performance and the outcomes. Context. Do team members know the importance of the team? Commitment. Is everyone on the team wanting the same outcome? Competence. Does the team feel that its members have the knowledge, skill and capability to address the issues for which the team was formed? Charter. Has the team taken its assigned area of responsibility and designed its own mission, vision and strategies to accomplish the mission? Control. Does the team have enough freedom and empowerment to feel the ownership necessary to accomplish its charter? Control. Does the team have enough freedom and empowerment to feel the ownership necessary to accomplish its charter? I think I just read that out twice. I need to be in control. Collaboration. Does the team understand team and group process and the stages of group development? Communication. Are team members clear about personal roles and the priorities of their tasks? Consequences. Do team members feel responsible and accountable for team achievements? And number 10, cultural change. Supporting change in the team and recognising difference in all team players. So I recommend that you discuss the 10 principles of team building, not only with your work colleagues, but also your manager, and recognise where you all play a part. Let's move on now and look at the 4 stages of team building. Number 1 is the forming stage, and then you move into the storming stage. In team building, you will then move into norming, and then the last one is the performing stage. So let's discuss those individually, and then look at the first one, which is forming. And that's all about adopting the mindset for success. It's about establishing the relationships, behaving independently. It's that unconditional trust, even if it's not yet possible in this stage, but it will be as you build rapport. You will achieve trust as the team forms. It's about clarifying goals, but there may be uncertainty and apprehension in this stage, but it does include all team members and enhance the listening skills to focus more clearly on the objectives. From there, we move into the storming stage, and that's where we start to develop a shared future. Addressing the objectives and suggesting ideas, the team empowers itself to share leadership. The different ideas may compete for consideration, address any conflict immediately and directly, help the team to generate a win-win solution. So in the storming stage, assertive communication is essential. Now in this stage, use mind maps to brainstorm ideas. Now I want to show you an example of a mind map, a wonderful tool not only to use in business, the workplace, but very much in your home life as well. So this is an example of a mind map. A mind map is a diagram used to represent words, ideas, tasks, or other items linked to and arranged around a central key word or idea. Mind maps are used to generate, visualise, structure and clarify ideas, and as an aid in studying, organisation, problem solving, decision making and writing. A great tool to use in goal setting as well. So there are several mind maps used in this presentation, and we are going to put one together a little bit later on. They're an excellent tool for expressing and in sharing ideas, concepts and plans. So now let's look at the norming stage. Now the norming stage is where you develop strong trust and responsibility. Goals have been set in this stage and the teams begin agreeing on rules and values. Teams begin to trust themselves during this phase, and individual members take greater responsibility and team leader steps back. Important to keep enthusiasm levels high. Mutual trust means being free to focus on process and tasks, and everyone needs to work together. As the team member moves out of the storming phase and it enters the norming phase. So let's look at the performing stage, which is the last one. This is where the progress is really starting to take place. Progress is being made on objectives. Communication is going very well. Team members are sharing all of their knowledge. Decision making is shared and in a group environment. The team is functioning independently. The leadership shifts into a support and mentoring role. There is a high interpersonal trust, knowledge and competence. The team is functioning in a highly independent way in the performing phase. So let's look at problem solving as a team, one of the most important elements of teamwork. The objective as a team is to achieve goals and objectives, but also to solve problems as the team if they arise. Team members bring a diverse set of skills to the team, and this provides a great scenario and the best chance in finding a solution. Because the team is comprised of individuals that bring a unique skill set, it provides the team with the whole is greater than its parts setup, which is a really valuable tool. Let's move on from problem solving, and I want to share with you a technique that's used a lot in teamwork, and it's called the 6 thinking hats. You can see it on your screen, and let me share with you that the 6 thinking hats is a really powerful technique that helps teams look at important decisions from a number of different perspectives. It helps them make better decisions by pushing members to move outside of their normal style or ways of thinking. It helps them understand the full complexity of a decision and identify issues and opportunities which they might not otherwise notice. So in order to make it easier to clearly identify and work with these states, coloured hats are used as metaphors. So the act of putting on a coloured hat allows individually to symbolically think in terms of the state, either actually or imaginatively. So I want you to refer to your manual you'll receive after this broadcast, and you can read in a lot more detail how the 6 thinking hats will really benefit you and your team. I want to encourage you all to brainstorm. It's something that I certainly do a lot of in business. But brainstorming is really a simple and effective method for generating ideas and suggestions. They allow group members to use each other as creative resources and are effective when a subject is being introduced. The goal is to rapidly generate a large quantity of ideas. So I want to encourage you all, don't forget to dial in if you do have any questions. Come and brainstorm with me on this subject of teamwork. The number's 1800 678 208. So encouraging teamwork. For every team member that believes and works for the team, the chances of success increase dramatically. That is the reason why it is so important in teamwork and team building, as it really does provide a greater chance of success. So I'm going to ask you, do you really believe in the work that you're doing? Are you an effective team player? So encourage teamwork by promoting an active learning climate for the team. Try to relate to team building strategies to the team's work. Don't be afraid to experiment with new strategies. And constantly evaluate both your output and your process. In short, ask regularly, how are we doing? And ask yourself, are you being the best that you can be in each moment? High performance teams. What is the difference between a competent team and a highly effective team? What is it that really does set them apart? Well, let's look at some. High performance teams or highly effective teams, they're results driven, they have accountability, a deep sense of purpose, effective communication, and as you can see from the mind map that I've put together, we've explored so many other qualities. But the number one difference is the emotional competency of the individuals in the group. So what qualities do you bring to the team? Or what qualities do you want to improve on? I want you to start adding to the list. Is it empathy, flexibility, self-awareness, initiative, attention to feedback, interpersonal understanding, awareness of the network's resources, problem solving, or setting expectations. There's so many that you can add to that list, so continue to go back to it and just always be aware of what you can continually add to the team. Now let's look at getting into the flow. What are the characteristics of a team in flow? And as you can see, I've put a mind map together, but I'm going to work with you to fill out that mind map. I think it's really important that you start utilising mind maps in every area of your life. So let's look at the characteristics of a team in flow. So one of the first one is having a compelling, motivational and challenging goal. Every team needs a goal. So start at the top right green box. In the green box, enter goal. And from there it branches off to a yellow box. So I want you to put in the word challenging. Another characteristics of a team in flow is intense group loyalty. So in the next green box, I want you to put loyalty. In teamwork, it's important to have a diverse range of talents. So in the next green box, I want you to write diverse talents. Trust and selfless collaboration is also very important. So where you can see the box that has two boxes leading off it, I want you to put collaboration in that box. And on the two boxes branching off from that, I want you to put trust and selfless. In this individual green box, the next one is focus and passion. We need focus and passion for the team to flow. And the very last green box is work that is fun and rewarding. So enter rewarding into the last green box. So as you can see, we've created a mind map for the characteristics of a team in flow. Let's move on to the 5 secrets of team success. The 5 secrets are building rapport, having empathy, persuasion, cooperation, and building consensus. So the very first one of the 5 secrets of team success is building rapport. And as you can see, we're going to be answering another question here. How would you go about establishing rapport with someone that you don't know? Think about that the customers that come into your centre, or when you're out in the community. How are you going to build rapport with someone that you don't know? Is the first one introducing yourself? Look at the person while you talk to them. Listen carefully. Would you shake their hand? Would you ask them questions about themselves? And would you tell them more about yourself? Let's move on to the next task, which is one that you can actually do in the next week, and I really challenge you to do it in your community, sporting clubs, at the school, or even in the workplace. Choose a person that you don't know and take 3 minutes to establish some rapport. Really observe the qualities of your listening skills and showing interest in that person. So let's move on to number 2 of the 5 secrets to team success, which is empathy. What do you think that empathy means? Start writing down what you think empathy means. Is it about caring, listening, being supportive, showing understanding, and feeling what another is feeling? So I'm going to give you another task on empathy. I want you to complete this task with your manager or your work colleagues. Tell them something that is happening in your life where you feel like you need some support. And the partner's role is to really empathise. So try that task out and see what comes up for both people. Discuss it openly. Remember I shared with you the 10, 20, 70% principle in learning? You only learn 10% from a broadcast like this or attending a workshop or a seminar. 20% of your learning comes from talking about it, really talking about what you've learnt and what you're reading. But 70% of your learning comes from applying it. So apply the task of showing empathy, then talk about it and really talk about what you've observed about yourself and others and how you can really improve on that skill of showing empathy to somebody. So let's move on to number 3, which is persuasion. Everyone gets equal hearing. Identify a bond or commonality. Take time to establish one if necessary. Connect emotionally and inspire interest. Now, number 4 is cooperation and collaborate. Share plans, ideas, information and resources. Promote a friendly and cooperative climate. Network and nurture opportunities for collaboration. Balance a focus on task with attention to relationships. And value the importance of community spirit. I want to share that again, I really love that one. Value the importance of community spirit. And number 5 is building consensus. A good test for consensus is to ask the question, can you support this decision? If everyone can support it, then the group has achieved 100% consensus. So the problem-solving process really is as follows. You need to identify the problem or the goal, generate alternative solutions, and establish the objective criteria. Decide on a solution that best fits the criteria, proceed with the solution, and then evaluate the solution. So I'm going to give you another task, and I'm sure you're going to have fun with this within your team. So I want you to practice persuasion, cooperation and consensus. So consensus building. So at your next team meeting, I want you to all discuss and decide as a group which is the best flavour of ice cream in the world and why. And you'll probably take all day, and I really don't want to hear any arguments coming back, but it really will demonstrate the qualities of your team members and really allow you to come up with a decision, problem solve and evaluate which is the best flavoured ice cream. So send in emails or call in the next presentation. I'd love to hear what your team came up with. But just to share with you that the consensus building answer generally always is Napoleon, because it does combine 3 flavours. But I look forward to hearing what your favourite flavoured ice cream is and who wins in your team. So let's look at the different types of team members. You've got the contributor. Write that in next to number 1 is the contributor. Number 2 is the collaborator. Number 3 is the communicator. And number 4 is the challenger. So let's look at them a little bit more closely. Again, I've given you another mind map to break it down. So you may identify with more than one of these primary styles. For example, you may identify with both the communicator and the collaborator. You may even identify with 3 primary styles, in which case it's important to ask which one is missing. For further, more detailed information that we can share during this presentation, please refer to your training manual, which provides detailed information about all 4 types and the combination of styles. Identify which style is yours and which style you'd like to learn more about. This will really help you to raise your own awareness of your own style and preferences, as well as help team members to understand each other better. So again, if you've got any questions, don't forget to dial in. The number's 1800 678 208. Let's move on to building a positive team. And what does it take to really build a strong, positive team? Well, a positive mindset really does generate creativity, opportunities and ideas. It creates an openness for change, builds great relationships. It's all about feeling good. When you're feeling good as a team, you will definitely have great results and working more effectively. So the steps to building a positive team include building positivity in yourself, transferring positivity to others, displaying emotional intelligence, and building trust. So again, the very first one in building a positive team is to build positivity in yourself first. The more you work on yourself, the more generally happy and positive you will be. And of course, that is so much easier to then transfer onto others. So becoming a positive transformational leader within the team who displays encouragement and supports team members, shows integrity, optimism, humility, vision, setting clear and achievable goals, ability to communicate vision and goals, and belief in the potential of all team members. Again, I want to repeat that, belief in the potential of all team members. Let's look at number 3, displaying emotional intelligence. Well, emotional intelligence is the ability to recognise your own emotions, understand what they are telling you, and then manage them so they impact on others in a really positive way. So developing your emotional intelligence also helps you to recognise the emotions of others and respond to them in a way that connects to the emotional needs. Let's look at number 4, building trust. Trust encourages team members to... Now I want you to think about that and write down what you think. Having trust in your team members and knowing that they trust you is essential to building a positive team. So trust encourages team members to take risks, work hard, believe in the ability to accomplish the goal, and share ideas. How do you think we can build on that trust? What are you adding to your list? Is it that you don't need to micromanage unless absolutely necessary? Be transparent about decision and changes. Encourage everyone to ask questions. Be a team player. Always keep your word. Remember integrity. Open up to others about yourself. What else have you added to the list? Participate in the decision making. Let's move on. Moving forward, successful teamwork requires commitment and practice. Remember to be patient and always learn from your mistakes. Encouraging teamwork means making a commitment and requires practice. So I have recommended some reading. You know how much I love books, and every broadcast I will be recommending books for you to read. The very first one is the Mind Map book. The second is the 6 Thinking Hats. If you really enjoy what we've included in the manual, by all means go and read up more by purchasing the book. Working with Emotional Intelligence. And then the last one, the book is called Fun Works. Now, I want to share with you a really great story that demonstrates teamwork, and I really want you to listen. I absolutely love this story. This teamwork story is about a jet fighter pilot in Vietnam, and his name was Charles Plum. Charles had completed 75 combat missions, but he was shot down, and Plum was ejected from that jet fighter, but he parachuted into enemy hands, and afterwards he spent 6 years in a Vietnamese prison. But he did survive, and today he's now a lecturer, and he shares many of the lessons that he learnt. But he was enjoying dinner one day with his wife in a coffee shop, and a man came up to him and said, "You're Plum, and you're a jet fighter pilot that was in Vietnam on the aircraft carrier which was called Kitty Hawk, and you were shot down." Well, Plum was really surprised. "How in the world did you know that?" Plum responded. Well, he said, "I packed your parachute," the man replied. Well, Charles Plum, in his surprise and gratitude, really did have to catch his breath. So the man then shook his hand and said, "Well, I guess it worked." And Plum assured him that it had, and it said that if the chute hadn't have worked, I wouldn't be here today. That night, Plum couldn't sleep, and he said to himself that he kept pondering what it might have been like to be in the Navy, to wear a Navy uniform. And he wondered how many times he might have seen that man and not even said good morning, or even asked how he was, or anything. You see, he was a fighter pilot and the other gentleman was just a sailor. So Plum thought a lot about that man who had packed his parachute and the hours that he spent at the wooden table at the bottom of the ship, carefully packing his and other parachutes. He held in his hand the chute, the fate of someone that he did not even know. So that really did change Plum's life that day and made him realise that in our life, many people have the hand of our parachute. Are we taking the time to acknowledge them, thank them, and reward them? It is very easy to overlook the work of many. So even when an athletic team has won a championship, do we ever hear them thanking the trainer, the cook, the bus driver, the masseuse? Do they take the time to reward them too? It takes a lot of people to create a championship team. Now, when I read this story, I thought of an award-winning event that I created many years ago. It won Best Event in WA 3 years in a row. But I am so aware and so grateful that it took so many people to create that event. I might have been the organiser and the manager of that event, but it took everyone in that community, from the volunteers to the sponsorship to the many that were on the ground doing a lot of work. So I want you to spend some time just recognising everyone that contributes to the success in your life, whether it's family, in your sporting team, at work. So who on your team works on your parachute? I felt that that was a really great story to share with you all, and I will email it so it'll be a part of your manual if you want to read it again. But that pretty much concludes our presentation for today on teamwork, and I'd encourage you all to dial in with any questions that you have. The number's 1800 678 208. So dial in with any questions and I'd love to hear from you. So let's finish today's broadcast on teamwork. I want to share with you a quote that I feel is a really great way to close today, and that is, leadership works most effectively, it seems to me, never to say I. And that's not because they've trained themselves not to say I. They don't think I, they think we, they think team. So I want you to make sure you have a look at the training manual on teamwork, discuss it with your manager, discuss it with your work colleagues, friends, family, and really see how you can improve your effectiveness as a team player. Now I look forward to seeing you at the next broadcast. The next broadcast we're going to be talking about time management. So I'm hoping that someone will dial in on the next broadcast. Don't be shy, I'd love to connect with you all. So think of some questions that you can ask on the next broadcast about time management and how that really does apply to your workplace. It's been great to spend today with you all. My name is Leanne O'Shea and I'm from Leaders Being Leaders, and I wish you all a really great day. Thanks for being here.